Hello everyone, I am Piyush Madan and I welcome you all. As a part of series of videos which I am doing for the PSIR optional, in today's video I intend to discuss some further new aspects of the optional, essentially taking up certain doubts vis-a-vis the subject is concerned, as well as I'll be discussing the strategy which should be adopted for the PSIR optional. This will be relevant for the students who are preparing for the year 2022 and beyond. So stay with me. Now, one of the biggest doubts which the students have is when they should start the preparation and in what manner they should take forward their preparation. So I am going to discuss a little bit on those aspects. Now, as far as the timing for the optional is concerned, I would say that depends from person to person. Meaning, for a person who is preparing in 2022, the opportune time would be 1.5 to 2 years before sitting for the examination. For those preparing for 2023, similarly, such kind of a time frame can be calculated. However, there are certain students who are in their, let's say, first year of the graduation, I beg your pardon, or second year of the graduation, and they have enrolled for certain foundation courses or they have started their preparation on their own. So should they also take the foundation course of PSIR at this point of time or not? When should the answer writing be done? When should the test series be done? What should be done with certain emphasis, where your more emphasis should be there, or what should be the starting point of the preparation, whether it should be the political theory or the Indian government and politics, or you can even start with paper 2. Many are confused. Let me discuss these all details with you as a part of this video. Now, the point is, if I talk about, let's say, the foundation course, this is the starting point of your preparation for the PSIR. You'll sit for a foundation course, you'll learn new concepts. This is for the concept building part. Here you build your concepts. It is not the place where whatever your concepts which you have learned, you are going to not write those concepts or pen down those concepts. That part comes much later. To this I add answer writing. Meaning, whatever concepts which I have learnt, here I'll try to write those concepts as a part of the answer writing. Now, answer writing is very important as far as the social sciences is concerned. Whether you are taking sociology, whether you are taking PubAd, whether you are taking political science, answer writing is very important because there is a certain manner in which you have to pen down your thoughts. The thoughts or the concepts which you have learned here. Answer writing will help me to pen down those concepts. You will see whether you are able to actually write those thoughts which you have thought. You have learned something. For example, you have learned the concept of Swaraj by Mahatma Gandhi. Now, if I give you a question, let's say, comment on the notion of Swaraj by Mahatma Gandhi in 150 words. You will start writing. You will write an introduction, you will write a body part, and finally you will write a conclusion part. Now, how to start the introduction? Whether you have to give the definition of Swaraj, or is there any other particular way in which you can introduce? Similarly, in the body part, how will you explain the concept of Swaraj? You will give the specifics. Will you compare the notion of Swaraj with the other notions of Swaraj? For example, let's say Bal Gangadhar Tilak had certain notion of Swaraj. Similarly, Aurobindo Ghosh had certain notion of Swaraj. So we'll compare all those parts in the body, and finally we'll come to the conclusion part, where you will either summarize the debate or you will tell the relevance of Swaraj in today's time, or in certain manner you will conclude the answer. You have just learnt the concept of Swaraj. Whether you are able to write this or not, this comes at a later stage. Now if I take this even further, foundation course we have done, answer writing we have done. What is left? Test series. This part usually comes after the prelims. Why? Because whatever concepts you have learnt, you have written those concepts down, you have consolidated all your material, and now what you intend to do is, now you intend to write those things in 3 hours, basically your 19 questions. And you try to write those 19 questions ranging from 150 words to 200 words to 250 words. 10 marker, 15 marker and 20 marker. So now you do this practice, and post this practice what you do is you sit for the final leg, which is the examination, right? This will culminate in UPSC exam. This is the broader outline which you take for any kind of an optional subject, broader outline. Will not be discussing this part because not relevant from the point of discussion what we are doing, because the primary motive of the discussion here is to talk about these aspects which are important from the perspective of the beginners. So whether you are appearing for 2022 or 2023, have you done the concept building part? If you have started with the concept building part, what are you doing for this part? Are you writing answers here or not? Are you getting the answers evaluated? How much are you able to write? For a 10 marker, how much time are you taking? Are you taking 7 to 8 minutes or are you taking more time? If you are taking more time, then what is the issue? Or if you are doing this answer writing, there are certain aspects which you are not clear about. If there are certain aspects which you are not clear about, then I will say the issue lies here, that you have not undertaken a foundation course, or even after taking the foundation course your concepts are not clear. Then again you need to sit down and study. Whoever is preparing for 2022 or 2023 or even later also 2024, this is the process which you will have to go through. You have to identify where you are. If you are somebody who is going to appear for 2022, then now is the time that you should go and sit for a foundation course. You should start your concept building. This is high time. It's already the mid of July. You have 6 months of 2021. In 2022, you will be more focused on your prelims. So for 2021, you can very well go and sit for a course and get your concepts cleared. At the same time, I would say you will have to do answer writing also. So if I talk about the time period, you have this time period of, let's say, 6 months with you. 2021, you have 6 months whereby you have to do two things. You have to build your concepts and you have to do the answer writing. So these two things, what are you doing for these things? Are you clear on that or not? Concepts and answer writing. Again, I will say both of them are equally important. Equally important. It's not that you can do only the concepts, or I beg your pardon, you can be clear with the concepts but not write them. No. You will not know where you stand. you will not know whether you are able to write a proper introduction, body, conclusion format or not. You will not know whether you are able to incorporate the contemporary aspects in the answers or not. But if you sit down for answer writing and you finally realize that you do not know the concept, then it is also a problematic part. Hence, the ideal way is that you do these two things together. You start learning the concepts and at the same time you write certain answers also, get them evaluated. Best is that you study from the same person, get it evaluated from the same person, so that you know whether you are progressing or not. And in the same light, whether that progress which is happening, what kind of learning curve is there for you, in that manner the faculty will curate certain questions for you. सबके लिए सेम नहीं होगा, लर्निंग कर्व्स डिफरेंट होते हैं, किसी के लिए ये होगा, किसी के लिए ये होगा, किसी के लिए ये होगा. Different kinds of learning curves for different kind of people. Not everybody learns at the same pace, but whatever is the learning curve for each individual student, they have to identify it and they have to learn the concepts and write the answers. Not going to the part of the test series, it comes much later. This is for those who have already done the foundation course, have already done the answer writing to a certain extent, and now it is the right time. Let's say the people who will be writing for 2021, they can sit for a test series, that also post prelims. Those who have already written in 2020 or 2019, they can go and write a test series because they know all the aspects related to the concept building and the answer writing. So they can sit for the test series also. So please identify yourself, where do you stand. If you are a person who is going to appear for 2022 or 2023, please make sure that you are on your path of building the concepts and writing answers. I'll take the discussion forward. Now I'll talk about the strategy as far as the syllabus is concerned. See, first of all, download the syllabus at your end. Go to UPSC's website, download the syllabus, see how the syllabus is, we are going to divide the syllabus. If not, I have already made a video on this part, you can go and check out that video also. So essentially, paper 1, paper 2, paper 1 further divided into political theory, Indian government and politics, paper 2 into the comparative politics and the theory of IR, and here we have the India and world. Now, what should be the starting point of preparation? Can you start from paper 2 or should you start from paper 1? I would recommend that you start from paper 1. Why is that? See, paper 1 deals with political theory, which is the base of the optional. The base of political science optional starts with political theory. If I have to talk about what political theory is, political theory, you will know here about, let's say I talk about Western political thought, meaning what was the thought of, let's say, philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, Karl Marx and others. If I talk about the thoughts of Plato, or if I start about even political theory from the very, you can say, if I start, where should the study of political science start from? It starts from the critical thinking that what a human is, What does he want? What a society is, how the society has been formed, and thirdly, what a state is and how the state has been formed. Human था, society बनाई, both of them came together and they created a state. Primarily my area of study is state when I talk about political science. Primary area of discussion, how this came into being. कैसे आ गई स्टेट, क्यों बना दी मैंने, बना दी तो क्या पावर्स है, बना दी, I made a state, I created a state, I gave them powers, I created executive, legislature and judiciary, I gave them powers to regulate the political order, I gave them powers to regulate the societal order, I gave them the powers to regulate the conduct of the human beings. यहां से मेरी स्टडी स्टार्ट हो रही है. पावर कैसे आएगी, पावर कैसे ली जाएगी, मैंने वो स्टार्ट कर दिया. उसके लिए मैंने क्या किया, मैंने प्लेटो को रीड किया, मैंने एरिस्टोटल को रीड किया. प्लेटो ने कहा कि स्टेट बना दीजिए और एक इंसान को पावर दे दीजिए, ही शुड रन द स्टेट. अ फिलोसोफर किंग. वेरी वेल. Why did he say that? Because he said a person who has extreme knowledge of a lot of aspects of life and having a lot of experience in life, he knows what is right and what is wrong, and as a result of which we will give him the authority to run the state. तो आप देश चलाइए. Aristotle comes, he says you are giving a lot of power to one person, this is not the right thing to do. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This was the basic idea of Aristotle's thought. So he said, no, don't give the power to one person, instead let's give the power to a group of persons, let's say the legislature, and let them make the laws and let the law be the final or the supreme authority. So instead of a person being the supreme authority, let law be the supreme authority. And he said that why this should be done? Because one person can have corrupting elements, and this can be detrimental to the society. Take the example of Germany. A person having a lot of power, having absolute power, led to the extermination of the Jews. I am talking about the Nazi Germany. There are many examples in the history whereby the power, when it was given to one person, it had corrupting elements and it led to certain problems in the society. So he says, no, don't do this. Let's give the power to law, which is the way in which present society is governed. For India, Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Every law has to conform to the Constitution of India. Every authority has to conform to the Constitution of India. Every office of the state, whether it is the President of India, Governor of India, Prime Minister of India, they have to conform to that political way which has been envisaged in the Constitution of India. Their responsibilities have been given by the Constitution of India, their powers have been given by the Constitution of India, their powers are limited by the Constitution of India also. Point being, Constitution is supreme. When I say Constitution is supreme, the meaning is rule of law. Not the rule of one person, but the rule of law. So the ideal changes from the rule of one person to the rule of law. That is how Plato versus Aristotle is studied. You start from here. We start from here as a part of our discussion on the political science, political theory. This is the starting point from where you should start your inquiry. Now I have made the state, I have given the responsibilities. Now comes another great thinker in the history, which is the Karl Marx. So what does he says? Karl Marx says you have created a state, fine. You have created this state, but he says this state is not an entity which thinks about all the people. This state is an entity which thinks about one particular class. What Karl Marx will say? Karl Marx will say, let's talk about Adani Group. Adani Group has amassed a lot of wealth in the last 1 year since the lockdown, and same has been the case with the Ambani also. पूंजीवादी जिनको बोलते हैं, कैपिटलिस्ट हैं ये. They have a huge network of industries all over India. They run that network. They have the ownership of the means of production. I'll come to this part. Stay with me. So Karl Marx says they have a lot of power because they have money. The money comes from their ownership of the means of production. प्रोड्यूस कौन कर रहा है? ये कर रहे हैं. ग्रीन एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस करने वाले हैं अभी अडानी ग्रीन्स. आने वाले 10, 20, 30 साल में अडानी ग्रीन्स is going to produce a lot of renewable energy in India. They own those means of production which will be employed to provide green energy. Fine, good. It will give them a lot of money. With money, it will give them a lot of power. And this power is something which everybody wants to have with themselves. So what they will do is, they created a state. हिस्ट्री में ऐसा हुआ कि ऐसे लोग थे जो ओन करते थे मीन्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. जमींदार थे, लेट्स से, दे हैड अ लॉट ऑफ मनी. जमीन थी, पैसा था, तो उन्होंने एक स्टेट की क्रिएशन कर दी. स्टेट एक एंटिटी है, उन्होंने क्रिएट की. व्हाई? बिकॉज दे वांटेड दैट व्हाटएवर मीन्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन दे आर हैविंग, they should keep having whatever privileges which they are enjoying, they should keep enjoying. But society में ऐसा नहीं होता. कोई देखेगा कि ये अमीर हुए जा रहे हैं, हम नहीं हो रहे, तो लड़ाई होगी, वायलेंस होगी, कॉन्फ्लिक्ट आएगा. कॉन्फ्लिक्ट को कौन रिजॉल्व करेगा? अभी कौन रिजॉल्व करता है? स्टेट. बट अगर स्टेट इनके नक्शे कदम पे चल रही है तो प्रॉब्लम है. दिस इज व्हाट कार्ल मार्क्स टॉक्स अबाउट. कार्ल मार्क्स की थ्योरी इसके ऊपर है. ही गिव्स a critique of the capitalist way of production. He becomes important. On that basis, the whole Marxism school of inquiry emerges. फिर हम Marxism school of thought भी पढ़ेंगे. But starting कहाँ से होगी? पहले मैं इसे create कर रहा हूँ, इसको responsibility दे रहा हूँ, power दे रहा हूँ. फिर उसके बाद मैं बात कर रहा हूँ कि ये तो सबके लिए है ही नहीं. हमने कहा था ये न्यूट्रल है, ये न्यूट्रल है ही नहीं. तो मैं कार्ल मार्क्स की बात करूंगा, फिर उसका भी क्रिटिसिज्म आएगा. बट द पॉइंट हियर इज यू हैव टू मूव इन दिस डायरेक्शन. इफ यू आर स्टार्टिंग विद पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी, स्टार्ट विद व्हाट इज द थॉट, इंडियन थॉट और वेस्टर्न, एनी यू कैन स्टार्ट. ऑन दैट यू बिल्ड आइडियोलॉजीज. उसके बाद मैं बात करूंगा डेमोक्रेसी की, जस्टिस की, इक्वालिटी की, राइट्स की. सब कुछ यहीं से रिलेटेड है. डेमोक्रेसी आएगी. दे वॉन्ट, बोथ ऑफ देम, दे वॉन्ट दैट वी विल इंश्योर हु गोज एंड रिप्रेजेंट्स अस. तो डेमोक्रेसी आ गई. अब डेमोक्रेसी आ गई तो डेमोक्रेसी के एस्पेक्ट्स हैं प्रोसीजरल, सब्सटेंटिव. डेमोक्रेसी आई तो क्या उससे इक्वालिटी मिली या नहीं मिली? क्या उससे न्याय मिला या नहीं मिला? मैं फिर न्याय पढ़ूंगा, जस्टिस, देन आई विल रीड इक्वालिटी ऑल्सो. इस तरीके से लिंकेज बना के पढ़ाई करनी होगी. पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी, वेस्टर्न पॉलिटिकल थॉट. लेट मी मेक इट अ लिटिल बिट इजियर फॉर यू. सो पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी आई एम स्टार्टिंग. दिस इज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ योर प्रिपरेशन. start with any kind of political thought, go towards the ideologies. At the same time, you will read the political ideals like democracy. This is how you go ahead with your political thought. Now you have studied all this. Once you have done all this, you can do two things. You can either do that you put it in practice by going for the Indian government and politics part. The application of theoretical elements is the Indian government and politics. आप वो कीजिए. One way. This is essentially general studies 2 paper. Huge overlap with general studies 2 paper. See where you are in your preparation. If this suits you, you can go ahead with this. If you don't want to do this, then where you should go ahead. Next would come, that will be comparative politics. You read comparative politics, right? Compare the constitutions, compare the political systems of the developing and the developed world. Then you go ahead with this. This is paper 2, part 1. So now you have reached paper 2. After doing political theory, you can start here also. You may go to IGP, you may not go to IGP, not a problem. Comparative politics के कुछ aspects हैं, social movements है, political participation है, role of political parties है, role of pressure groups है. You got to read all these things, and I will classify them amongst the static portion. This is static portion. So wherever you are in your preparation, finish the static portion, make notes, complete it, keep it aside. You have to revise this again and again with certain additions from the contemporary times, otherwise this will work. Then you come to the theory of IR, very important, where you study all the schools of thought. Important aspect here. You will have to give a lot of time. You will read about realism, liberalism, Marxism, feminism. You will read about key concepts here. You will read what power is, what national security is, what collective security is, the rise of China. You will study here as a part of, not particularly as a part of theory of IR, but when you apply this theory in the practical domain. So पहले आप theory पढ़ेंगे कि international relations चलते कैसे हैं. Realism will say power is a means and power is the end. Power के basis पे चलते हैं. जिसके पास power है वही सबसे बड़ा है, उसी की बात मानी जाएगी. Might is right. Might is right. Realism. Power is a means, power is the end. हर टाइम पे लड़ाई चलती ही रहेगी. आज इंडिया चाइना लड़ रहे हैं, पहले यूएसए रशिया लड़ रहे थे, उससे पहले पूरा यूरोप लड़ रहा था. लड़ाई चलती रहेगी. वॉर इज अ परमानेंट फीचर ऑफ ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस, रियलिज्म कहेगा. सिमिलरली अदर स्कूल्स ऑफ थॉट है, आप उन्हें रीड करेंगे. दे विल क्रिटिसाइज रियलिज्म. फेमिनिज्म आएगा, वो कहेंगे जो भी आपकी assumptions हैं वो गलत है. War is a permanent feature of human existence. This is because this whole discourse has been established by men, and if women enter into international relations, this will change. So वो बात आके वहाँ करेंगे. Similarly, liberal school of thought है, Marxist school of thought है, वो अपनी interpretations देंगे as far as the international relations is concerned. आप यहाँ पे ये पढ़ेंगे. फिर इसकी प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीकेशन देखेंगे कि पावर कैसे कॉन्स्टिट्यूट होती है. अगर मैं प्रेजेंट बात करूं तो वी आर लिविंग इन अ, और वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स अ मल्टीपोलर वर्ल्ड. अर्लियर वी वर लिविंग इन अ बायपोलर वर्ल्ड. यूएसए था, यूएसएसआर था, बायपोलर, दो पोल्स थे. पोल्स मींस जहां पे पावर है. अभी मल्टीपल पोल्स हैं. व्हाई? बिकॉज द पावर लाइज विद many nations, जापान के पास भी पावर है, चाइना के पास भी पावर है, भारत के पास भी पावर है, यूएसए के पास भी है, रशिया के पास भी है, चाइना के पास भी है. मल्टीपल पोल्स, द पावर इज डिफ्यूज्ड अमंगस्ट मल्टीपल पोल्स. यू विल रीड दैट. एक सॉफ्ट पावर का कॉन्सेप्ट आएगा, देन यू विल रीड दैट ऑल्सो. इंटरनेशनल योगा डे इंडिया की सॉफ्ट पावर है. The power to persuade others, the power to attract others, not by coercion. I am persuading you not by coercion, but by attraction. My values attract people. The end goal is I want to get my way. I want to गेट माई वे. जैसे मैं चाहता हूं चीजें वैसे करवाना चाहता हूं, तो मैं ये भी यूज करूंगा इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. थ्योरी ऑफ आईआर पढ़ने के बाद उसकी इंप्लीमेंटेशन देखिए, प्रैक्टिकल पार्ट्स विच इज द की एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ द आईआर एंड विच इज द इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिकल ऑर्डर. कोल्ड वॉर कैसे स्टार्ट हुई, कोल्ड वॉर कैसे एंड हुई, उसके बाद आप वो देखेंगे. इंटरनेशनल पॉलिटिकल ऑर्डर. इसके बाद एक और कंसर्न आता है कंटेम्परेरी ग्लोबल कंसर्न्स का. आजकल के कंसर्न्स क्या हैं? दिस इज अ वेरी गुड टॉपिक हैविंग एन ह्यूज ओवरलैप with the general studies part, essay part, GS2 part, GS3 part, 4 part, these contemporary global concerns. Contemporary global concerns क्या है? आजकल के concerns क्या है? Climate change सबसे बड़ा concern है, terrorism second सबसे बड़ा concern है, third सबसे बड़ा concern है nuclear proliferation, fourth सबसे बड़ा concern है democracy. काफी देशों में democracy crumble कर रही है. और क्या contemporary concern है? Gender का justice. जेंडर को जस्टिस नहीं मिल रहा है. वुमेन आर नॉट गेटिंग द जस्टिस. वुमेन आर नॉट एबल टू enjoy those rights which men enjoy. These are contemporary global concerns. Global concern है, इंडिया का concern नहीं है, हर जगह का concern है ये. We read about this then. This gives you a very good understanding, a holistic understanding about a lot of issues which you can finally employ in your essays, in your ethics paper, in your general studies paper. Very interesting, but this is the manner in which you should go ahead. Please classify things. Contemporary politics, first 4 parts of your syllabus. 5, 6, 7 parts. 5, 6 is the theory of IR. 7, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, right? International political order. Then is the contemporary global concerns. Keep the syllabus with you. Divide the syllabus. Read it थीम वाइज. जल्दी पढ़ाई होगी, एक साथ पढ़ाई होगी, कम समय में पढ़ाई होगी. अदरवाइज यू विल टेक फॉरएवर टू डू PSIR. डोंट डू दिस मिस्टेक. कंपैरेटिव पेपर 2 पार्ट 1 एंड देन यू मूव ऑन टू द पेपर 2 पार्ट 2 व्हिच इज द इंडियाज फॉरेन पॉलिसी. तो उसके बाद आप उस पे जाइए. देन यू कैन कम बैक टू द IGP पार्ट, और यू वांट टू गो टू द IGP आफ्टर दिस एंड देन यू वांट टू गो देयर, बिकॉज़ बोथ आर डायनामिक, बोथ हैव अ ह्यूज ओवरलैप विद जनरल स्टडीज. यू कैन डू एज पर योर ओन चॉइस. बट फर्स्ट पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी, second this part, then the other parts can be done. In this manner you should go ahead, because if you do political theory you will be able to understand a lot of things. If you do this you will be able to understand a lot of things which are there in the paper 2 part 2. So this is the manner in which you should take your discussion, I beg your pardon, take your preparation forward. Paper 2 part B, right? So you have done. Okay, let's summarize this thing quickly. First you do political theory, first step. Then you move on towards the theory of IR, or which is the paper 2 part A, which is the second step, and then you move on towards the third step. Third step is either IGP or India and world. Right? Now here make sure that this will give you an idea of this, this will give you an idea of this. So in this manner you take forward your study. पहले ये पढ़िएगा, आपको ये भी समझ आएगा, फिर ज़्यादा अच्छा ये पढ़ेंगे तो ये समझ में आएगा. तो इसीलिए आई सजेस्ट फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड यू कैन डू दिस, और फर्स्ट दिस, सेकेंड दिस, थर्ड दिस, फोर्थ दिस, योर प्रेफरेंस. ठीक है. नाउ I'll end the lecture here. This was which was something, because I'm receiving a lot of doubts, because they are not, some of them you want to study on your own, the others they are not aware about how you should go ahead with the preparation. So this is the manner in which you should move ahead. And what we discussed earlier was, this is the broad outline of your entire preparation of the optional. So make sure that this, you utilize this 2021 for this in a very effective manner. This goes for the 2022 students also. So if you have taken, if you are in your first year of graduation or second year of graduation and you have decided to go ahead, then also you can go ahead with such an approach. It is just that you will come to this part later on. And now see, the point is that COVID has given us a lot of time also. So we have a little bit time at our disposal. The college work is something which you might not have that much pressure. If that is the case, and you think that you want to utilize your next 5-6 months for the optional study, then make this analysis at your end, that whether this time period is available to you, and secondly, whether you really want to go ahead and study in the next coming 6 months. If that is the case, then please make a proper plan on these lines. I have discussed the strategy, and do not waste your time. Utilize the time which you have because of COVID, because a lot of you who have reached out to me, they are saying that they have a lot of time at their end and they want to utilize it judiciously in an effective manner. So please go ahead and finish the optional at least once, because you will have to go for multiple revisions of the optional. Only then you will have that level of writing this 19 questions in 3 hours. You have to write 19 questions in 3 hours, and that have to be quality questions. I beg your pardon, quality answers have to be written, not the questions. This does not come easy. It requires a lot of effort, it requires a lot of in-depth knowledge, and it requires a lot of answer writing at your end. So wherever you are in your preparation stage, ensure that your concepts are clear, ensure that you are writing a lot of answers, getting them evaluated, and then you are on the right track. So this was a little bit about the strategy and how you should move ahead in the preparation of your PSIR optional. Having said that, all the very best to all of you, and please watch out for the space. I'll be making more videos, and feel free to comment also. I'll try to make more videos on certain other aspects of PSIR which you want me to make. Having said that, thank you again, and all the very best.